What's up, guys? This is 101 MMA Clinic. I'm Alex. Patrick is with me. Tonight we have again, I don't know, can we say it's a new episode? Not really. So stay tuned. We have some crazy news.
All right. Usually I started the intro here.
Yeah, it sounds better when you start.
No. I mean, with this guy right here.
Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, now I'm ready. Let's go.
Did you
All
drink
right.
last night? What happened, Patrick? What's wrong?
Oh, bro, dude, this is what I get for trying to catch up with or keep up with you and Sung. I was hungover like all day.
Look what you're
So
doing.
my boy Shaw fixed me up some hangover medicine. I got like lemon, water, a little salt, a little honey in there.
Me too. You see, it's like a yellow. It's lemonade.
All right,
Okay.
so we got some new matchups to talk about. This is like probably a historic last minute change. Like I don't think we've ever seen this before for a UFC card. Three new fights, but all six fighters were already on this card. So last minute, but I think everyone's it sounds like they should have a full training camp going into this.
Yeah, and they already had fight last night. We don't know who with who and what actually happened. I
Bro,
guess
yeah,
it
I'm
was like
still catching up on the news and everything. But it looks like it's solidified. We got three new matches. Last I saw is people were or Nate Diaz's crew was accusing Khamzat of not even trying to make weight. He was out eating, and I actually saw those videos too. He was just like chilling in a restaurant yesterday when he should be cutting weight.
who knows what happened. This is like too many craziness, too many like conspiracy theories. It's gonna
Yep.
start of this one, like just like a lot of craziness. But like at the end of the day, I'm super glad for Nate Diaz that he will get like let's say easier fight. He's gonna fight against the guy who's maybe deserving more, like another legend, Tony Ferguson. So I think that matchup has much more sense. And Kevin Holland against Khamzat, it makes sense. And I think now all the pressure, even much more pressure, is on Khamzat.
Mhm.
So I think Kevin has a pretty good chance to surprise him. And on how much we said, plus 400, uh, plus 440, I'm gonna play that whole day. I even put on Nate like I think $30 just just to try. Like I think I'm gonna go now even more. Like it's smaller. Like it's 440 on Nate. It was like seven or maybe like even 800 when I put money on. So that makes sense for me too. I think Kevin is younger guy. He have good cardio, good jujitsu. Like again, we break down that match with GM3. Yeah, and I think he can get some of those crazy scramble submissions, and maybe like even more chance I see he can finish Kamzat than Nate Diaz.
Oh, for sure. I think while we're at it, with this UFC last minute change up, let's do our change up too. Let's start from the main event since we're already talking about Diaz.
Yeah,
You
like
got that?
who we got? Like I think that Tony is like slight favorite on minus 125. Nate Diaz is like a slight underdog with plus 105, and actually that's falling down. Like I did some parlay, like maybe hour ago when I saw that changes, and it was like plus 120. Now it's already plus 105. So I think that's a good bet. Like I mean this one can go either way. You know.
It can. It's weird for me to see Tony as an underdog, or I'm sorry, a favorite, just because when's the last time we've seen him win? I think we talked about it last time. It was Cowboy in 2019.
Yeah,
And maybe Nate hasn't gotten a win super recently either, but also 2019. Okay, against Anthony Pettis. Um, But for me, I thought in his recent fights, like even though Nate Diaz lost his last two fights, he's kind of looked at least more competitive than Tony has. Um, so for me, yeah, I agree. It's a good money to put on Nate Diaz, seeing that he's the underdog. If I had to pick a way that he wins, I think both of these guys are gonna probably be able to take it to 5 rounds decision. I don't think either guy's gonna get finished, but Nate Diaz, he's gonna be able to keep it standing. I don't think Tony Ferguson's gonna go for a takedown, and it's gonna come down to the boxing of Nate Diaz. How about
Yeah,
you?
yeah, I agree. I agree. Maybe we're gonna see some grappling exchanges. I wouldn't be surprised, But like I think mostly they're gonna stay standing, and I think very possible, like you said, it's gonna go to decision. Uh, like I said, it's not that great. You can go either way. Minus 125 plus now 105. It's probably gonna go even a little bit lower. So more or less from betting aspect, it's like a flip of the coin. I really see this one can go either way. And especially like there was no preparation. It's just gonna be straight fighting.
Yeah.
They're gonna prepare the tactic. Just like in their heads as much possible tonight, and that's it. They're gonna fight. And I think like maybe the safest bet is like it's gonna be 5 round. It's gonna go to decision.
Yeah. I remember the last time Nate Diaz took like a last minute uh fight, even though he's been trading for this fight camp, this is like a last minute fight in Tony Ferguson. He did well against Conor McGregor, and he was coming off the party boat too. So I think Nate Diaz thrives in this kind of like lack of preparation, almost like a street fight. We don't actually know him as a street fighter. Like he's not like Masvidal. He doesn't have that record. But like when you think of Nate Diaz always down to brawl, like that's him.
Yeah,
Both
I
these
agree.
guys
I
are
agree. Let's see.
super.
I mean, now for me, it's even becoming more interesting. Like the fights have more sense. So it's gonna be more competitive matches for sure.
Yeah, and like you said, like this is a match I think both these guys deserve. Like they're both veterans of the sport, both legends. And before, like I wasn't a fan. Like we said in the last episode, I wasn't a fan of Ferguson versus the Leech. And then Nate Diaz versus Khamzat going against someone who knocks out middleweights. Like this is more appropriate, I think, for both of these guys, and it's going to be an awesome fight. They both have good striking, sick jujitsu, like very opportunistic jujitsu. Like they can catch a submission like that almost out of nowhere, out of a scramble, out of chaos. So I'm excited whether it's standing or on the ground.
Yeah. Who you got here?
I got Nate Diaz.
Okay, I'm gonna agree with you. I think also like so we don't forget to say, I think he have even a little bit advantage because he already fought like last couple of fights in the welterweight division. This is the first time that Tony is coming after how many years? We said like 11, 12
Yeah,
uh, to the welterweight. So I think that advantage is also going to be on Nate. So, but let's see. I mean, we're going to enjoy this fight much more than the
that's
previous
for
matchup.
sure. Next up in the new co-main event, we also have a 5 rounder in the co-main. I found out this is Kevin Holland versus Khamzat Chimaev. What do you think about this matchup?
Oof. Again, I'm going back to the psychological moment. Kevin start like pulling to calling out Khamzat. He- I think he has a now like mental advantage. I think like what we were saying that Khamzat learned from the last match. Now maybe like everything, like when the ear goes to your water goes to your ears. I think he is now in that situation. I think how Connor was striving from those, but like Connor was special. That really like under that pressure creates. He really managed to thrive off it. I think that this situation, I think there's big possibility that Kamzat will drown in it. And I think the drowning method is gonna be like a choke from our guy, like he said, modern cowboy Cerrone, Kevin Holland. I really see like again betting aspect. What we said plus 440 and how much is like minus 580 on Kamzat. I think It's time that he pays for all the bullshit that he created, and I think he can get like upset. We can see upset in this match, and I think he can lose very easily.
To me, that's the biggest factor in this. And like, I agree with you. He's been pulling some bullshit with this. If this was like a proper 6 or 8 week training camp for this fight, I think I'd take Chimaev in this. You know, he has the style to wrestle with Holland and beat him up there. But this is like another fighter in Kevin Holland that kind of thrives in the chaos. This is a guy who's known for like fighting crime the day of the fight. Like he's and like and also doing well in the fight. Kind of reminds me of like John Jones. If you remember when John Jones won his title fight against Shogun, he also like stopped a burglar or stopped a thief that same day. And I think Kevin Holland's one of those fighters that thrives in the chaos. I don't know if you're alluding to this with the conspiracies, but one might think Kevin Holland orchestrated all this because he was trying to talk shit to Khamzat during the press conference. They had to cancel the press conference yesterday. Kevin Holland's just been calling Khamzat Chimaev out even before this whole fight card, which is unusual. Most people don't call out Chimaev, especially on the run that he's on. So I do like Kevin Holland's chances, but I think if Kamzat is like coming correct, which he's actually not, he missed weight, right? Um, he should be able to win this. This is very interesting to me. I think I'll still give Chimaev the edge just because stylistically he should beat Kevin Holland. But I agree with you. Like if you're gonna put money on Kevin Holland, like now's the time in these circumstances. But am I crazy? Do you think if they have a full fight camp, would you still be picking Kevin Holland in this fight?
Maybe like depends like on this odds. Yeah, probably I would. Like because still I think he's how to say it's hard to hold him on the ground.
Yeah.
The crazy scrambles that he creates. And the submission attacks that he has. There is always opportunity. You know, so
One of the coolest ground and pound finishes I've seen is him versus Jacare. Whenever you think of ground and pound, it's always the guy on top knocking out the guy on bottom. But like he knocked out a jujitsu, like a submission specialist in Jacare. So is he gonna do that to Kamzat? Shit, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries it. You know, elbows and just those hammer fists, sideways hammer fist. It's gonna be a lot different than his fight with Gilbert Burns that Kamzat just had. Gilbert is, I think, a natural lightweight who just moved up to welterweight to kind of change up his career. And even Gilbert was able to drop Kamzat a couple times. So Kevin Holland's a lot more dangerous. He's fought like really tough guys in the middleweight division, unlike Nate Diaz, who's coming up from lightweight, where most of his career is. This is Kevin Holland, a proper welterweight and even a middleweight sometimes. So this is a tough one for Kamzat.
yeah, I agree, and I think like you said, like when he takes him down, Kevin will not settle. He will try to punish him from every possible position. He will throw those elbows, like he will try to create the space. Those up kicks. He will try to make a damage on Kamzat from every position. So I can see like this matchup. Like especially like he prepared for Nate Diaz, who is not that agile, not that explosive, like and Kevin Holland is, and he's coming also he's cutting from middleweight. He had now like 2 fights in welterweight, perfect score. Now this is like a catchweight, so I think we can see surprise. And I would guys say like try to play around and put some money on Kevin Holland because I think this can pretty easily be like a money bet.
Hmm. Yep, I agree. And like usually for these predictions we do, we have like at least I usually take a week to kind of think about these fights. Doing it the day of, now it's like shit, I could go with either one of these guys. I could be swayed. But I'm sticking with Kamzat. I just think outside of these circumstances, I like Khamzat's chances, but damn, maybe even with a full fight camp, like you're saying, just the chaos that Kevin Holland can put on from the bottom, even if you take him down. But we'll see. This is what makes it interesting when we pick against each other, I think.
Yep, yep. Let's see. Let's go. Third one, and unfortunately, maybe the less interesting one. Like the two guys that got like a really good names and interesting opponents to
Mhm.
help that career. I think that they lost. They're the biggest loser of this fight card, even
Yeah.
before the matches play out. Like so for sure. Yin Liang and or AKA Leech and D Road, they're the biggest loser of the fight card, and
Yeah.
now whoever lose from two of them, he is definitely the biggest loser. So
Yeah.
I don't know what to say here. Stylistically, Daniel Rodriguez, he is more like a sound, like a striker. Leach
Mhm.
is more like a with those wild
Yeah.
uh, swings and hooks. So
Mhm.
it's like clash of like I think we're gonna see striking in this fight and like two different approaches to the striking.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like this one is really for me. Um, I don't know. Like the most confusing. Like now in the like you said, without preparation, without breaking it really down. I think D Rod can take this one. Even though I think I put the money on my parlay in on Leach. Now
Mhm.
when I think again, I did that fast. He will even have a little bit weight advantage. And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so I think I even had that on my head, but I was like still thinking like because like I think that can be something. I see something in Leach, especially after he lost from Khamzat, that he's trying to uh, relive his career, and like especially what I said with changing the camp, and trying to switch up some things, like I can see him winning this fight.
Uh-huh.
But like I said, now when I start thinking again, I gave it to D Rod. But let me stay with the Leech. I already put money on him, so let's say Leech.
Well, I want to correct you because I believe both of these fighters were getting prepared for a welterweight bout. Is that wrong?
No, I think
So Kevin
Daniel
Holland going to fight
Rodriguez.
middleweight?
No, I think they did like I think Daniel Rodriguez and Kevin Holland they agreed for a catch weight, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, even before all this
Yeah,
shenanigans.
I think so.
Okay, I see. Well, in that case, I'm still going with my boy the Leech. I do think he's a more wilder striker than Daniel Rodriguez. Like you said, he throws a lot of hooks, a lot of haymakers. But I think it's like calculated chaos, calculated brawling that he's doing out there. Daniel Rodriguez, he has got that solid fundamental boxing and kickboxing, but he doesn't have that like X factor to me, kind of like how we are talking about with like Ankalaev. Although, we were kind of wrong about Ankalaev too. He ended up finishing some fights, right? But I'm going with the Leech in this one. And another thing that I'll have to go against you with is I think even though they both lost like probably one of the bigger names in their resumes, right? They lost the match against Tony Ferguson because that's not happening anymore. Same with Kevin Holland. There is a way for both of these guys to win. I think both of these guys are going to be feeling that like, fuck, I just lost a big name. They're going to come in with a chip on their shoulder, ready to bring it. And there's actually a way that they both fight so well, and it's one of those fights where it's like, you know what, both of these guys won some fans. Yeah, kind of like Rockhold versus Costa the other week, right? Obviously, Rockhold lost the fight, but I think after that he came out with more fans and more like people rooting for Luke Rockhold than ever before. So I wouldn't be surprised if these guys, they have less pressure on them because they have like everyone's paying attention to the main and co-main event now. Um, and I think they're gonna show out maybe some brawls. Maybe at the end it won't matter. People will forget about it because the main and co-main event are so hyped up. But I think as the fight goes on, it's gonna be a banger. And I'm
Nope.
going with the Leech.
Yeah. Okay. So two of three we agree, and also like let me not forget. I think the Leech is like slight underdog plus 125, and Rodriguez is like a favorite minus 145. So they're pretty like evenly matched, like not that big difference.
Yeah,
So
but if you're on the fence, it's good to go with the Leech then.
yeah, I mean I already did, but then when I start thinking, I switch, but like I'm gonna stick with the Leech, So we have only one match that we didn't pick the same
Mhm.
person. Okay, we just wanted to guys did like a breakdown because I feel really like even last week like the card change like, and I was like, should we leave it like this? Basically, then we didn't do. It was all for nothing, So
Yeah,
some
bro.
update.
Even in our first episode, I said as now this is the fight card as we're saying it, and then what do you know? Three matches change. But
Yeah,
so
I think this should this like unique. This is a unicorn. I don't
yeah,
think we're gonna have the same shit ever again, Like, and this is what really this makes this event like special and unique, Like that this craziness, And I would like to know what really happened that backstage, like who fought, like who won. Like I like what Nate Diaz is saying, like that he's already 1-0, and like tomorrow if he wins he's 2-0, Like it's crazy, So hopefully soon enough we're gonna find out, because I guess like even though I hate all that shit, uh what's going on, at the end of the day it's interesting, Like, and we are
yeah,
like human beings, like we are like intrigued by, especially if you're interested in something, like what's going on behind the scenes,
yeah.
I guess we are all like, how to say, like peaking peaking toms like a little bit in our soul, we just want to I don't know, like forget about what I said. We talk enough yesterday, talk enough on Wednesday. I think that's it. That's the updates for this one, guys.
All right.
See you next week and enjoy the fights.
Enjoy the fights. Ciao.